Hey guys, Matteo here. Welcome back to a new video. And today we're gonna talk about focal length. In fact, many people have been asking me what kind of lens I should buy, like R, Sigma, DZO, and that's a very important topic for sure. But I think another very important topic is indeed focal length, because especially when you're starting out to build a set or entering this market, you don't have that crazy budget to buy a full set of 6, 7 lenses. It doesn't matter if it's Sigma, Rokinon, it's money and lenses are expensive. I think the smartest thing to do is starting with 1 or 2 lenses and then from there buy your set. The lenses that I started my journey into the Leica R were actually these 4. 90mm, 35mm, 50mm, and 90mm. I have to be honest guys, with these lenses I've been able to shoot pretty much anything. And the beautiful thing of the Leica R, as many of you already know, I was able to use this for corporate videos, commercial, documentaries, feature films. And I have to be honest, most of the time I find myself only using 2 lenses. Another thing to keep in mind guys is the camera you're using before picking the lenses, because of course if you're shooting full frame, the 19 could be a little bit too wide. If you're shooting on the Pocket S35, the 19 is perfect, it's a great lens, you can use it with everything, it's pretty much like a 28, 30mm, so it's great. If you're shooting on the Ursa Mini Pro 12K, which is actually a slightly bigger sensor than the Pocket 6K, maybe you're absolutely okay with a 28mm or 35, but this is something to keep in mind guys, because of course crop factor can influence quite a lot our choice of lenses in the first place. But if someone asks me now, okay Matteo, I can only pick 3 lenses, what I should get? And if it was me, this is again guys, depends on your style, because I really like to go close to the subject on a wide angle, kind of like Lubetsky style, because I think you can really feel the motion of your character. My choice would be the 19, the 35, and the 50. The 90mm, it's actually a wide angle, it's not like super wide, ultra wide, and even if one of my favorite lenses is the 35mm, I have to be honest, when you need a wide angle on an S35, the 90mm is absolutely needed. I wouldn't get wider than 16mm, because at that point you start getting very wide, and depending on your lens, you can start seeing distortion and all these kind of artifacts and defects. In terms of aperture, I highly recommend at least f2.8 for a wide angle. The second one will be the 35mm, because overall, especially the Samicron R, is just insane. The bokeh is beautiful, it's one of the most beautiful lenses, but also is one of my favorite focal length. So the 35mm, I actually like it much better on the Ursa Mini Pro 12K, because again, the larger sensor. On the Pocket 6K with 1.5C crop, it gets a little bit too much. We're looking at 50mm, so can be becoming pretty hard to operate handheld, but when the camera is rigged, I don't have any problem with the 35 on the Pocket as well. The beautiful thing about a 35 is that if you have space enough, you can go a little bit wider, but also you can go very close to your subject and capture some beautiful close-up with a great bokeh. So I think the 90mm and 35mm were a pretty easy choice for me. Now the debate is, should I go 50 or should I go 90? Because when you think about it, on an S35, a 35mm, it's already towards that 45, 50. So a 50mm on an S35 though, it's about 70mm. So do you really need to go 90, or you can be okay with the 50? I operate a lot of times handheld. I can't really operate a 90mm handle. I mean, I did it but with the EasyRig, but it could be tricky. But on the other side, I have to say I use this lens on a tripod, filming the ocean and the close-up, and it's just fantastic. But in all honesty, I didn't use the 90mm this much in these years. So if you ask me right now, if I have to pick only 3 between the 50 and the 90, I will go with the 50, because it's still a 70mm on an S35, so you can get pretty close. Now my Leica R set now is pretty complete, because I also have the 15mm, the 28mm, and the 60mm. But in all honesty, guy, the 19 and the 35, they get the vast majority of time in front of the sensor. So if I have to pick 2 lenses, I'm not sure if it would be the 19 and the 50. That could be an option, but for my shooting style again, and because the 35 is so good at getting close up and it looks already like a 50mm on an S35 sensor, I will go with 19 and the 35. Now, talking about aperture, for the 35 and the 50mm, I highly recommend at least f2, could be f1.8, 1.4, 1.7, whatever. You're gonna be happy because these guys in low light, they're gonna make a difference compared to the 2.8. You're also gonna be able to get those medium shot with the amazing shadow depth of field, that blur background that everybody likes. So as you can see, guys, you don't have to spend all that money to buy a full set, in this case of Leica R. You can also start with 2 lenses, and from there, maybe after a few years, you can get the 50, maybe you can get the 90, maybe you can go with the 15, or maybe you're gonna see that you're only using the 35, so you don't even need to invest or spend more money. All right, guys, that's it. Let me know in the comments what is your favorite focal length and why. Again, guys, I talk about lenses, I talk about gear, I talk about business and filmmaking in my online course at batteryacademy.com. You can get it now for only $126 with code SPRING30 at checkout, 30% off. You can sign up today, link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.